somebody that you can talk to, you should. Interesting topic. And let me see if we can get everything crack-a-lacking right quick. And I think we can. It's looking pretty decent right now. And honestly, I really don't know if you can hear me or not. I'm pretty sure you can. So we'll see in a minute. But anyway, once again, this is Jobs, and you are tuned into My Skin is My Sin on Blog Talk Radio. Definitely appreciate your time, your energy, and your wisdom tonight. And I'm going to wait until a couple of more people kind of catch on that the show is on before we really get cracking. And as usual, you know, I got to do my my checks to make sure that everything is working as it should be. And once we get confirmation of that, then we can kind of jump into the show. And that depends on y'all, too. And you know how we get down around here. You know, everybody has a right to a different opinion. What you don't have a right to is be disrespectful with that. You know, we've had conversations over the years about some of the most sensitive topics. And that's one thing I would like to say I think we pride ourselves on, is being able to talk about things that typically would get people to yelling and screaming at each other, but we're able to dialogue and build on it, you know. And sometimes we just move on not agreeing, and that's okay. You feel me? And shout out to whoever that is, 7620. Shout out to you. Thanks for tuning in. Definitely appreciate your time and your energy. And what I'm doing right now is just kind of checking to see if the live stream is even on. It should be, but, you know, I got to go through my telephone and 64 other different procedures just to kind of figure out if it is or not. So y'all will have to pardon me if I seem slightly preoccupied. But what I did want to do right quick to give me just a little time, right? Y'all know I'm a Brick the Foundation fanatic. Make sure you go to www.itsmebrick.com. Oh, go check out Black Spot, BLAQ spot.com. That is a social media site for us and built by us, you know. You can't spit that venom about shit not being black. Then when something is black, you got nothing to say. You know, so do your part. Anyway, emeraldshell.com. And damn, I cannot remember Afi's website. She got the dopest playing cards. Anyway, I'll get to that in a second. I want to jump into one of Brick Joint's, and I'm just trying to figure out which one I want to play. Let me see if do I have Exodus? Oh, please tell me I don't have Exodus. Oh, that's pretty horrible. That's one of my joints, too, and I'm not sure why I don't have that in there. But let's get into some Brick right quick.
Customization, I'm trying to build up a nation of young minds who barely knew anything about the ancients, the ancestors before us. Went through the paces, chastised by races, just to watch our graduations, trying to shoot us from that outside world, told us have faith, just believe in Jesus would lead the way, but when I pray ain't no response back. It got me feeling like where God at. Realize you gotta do the work yourself, so where's my heart at? Steel toe boots, watch me build it brick by brick, constructed solid, ain't no breaking me down. I hail from Flint. If you can make it here, then you can make it anywhere. They got lead in the guns and water is everywhere. I'm trying to wrestle with these thoughts, take a shot of this Everclear, pour a little for the ones we lost. I shed a tear, yeah. I sobered up, notice the world's still revolving, and mine ain't special, cause everybody's got problems, man. Said, is it fake or is it real? I need to know, need to expose it. Hard on my sleeve, you know exactly what it is. There ain't no stopping me from handling my biz. So tell me how you feel. Say, is it fake or is it real? I need to know, is it exposed? Part on my sleeve, you know exactly what it is. There ain't no stopping me from handling my business. I feel your pain, my brother, ain't nothing strange. Heart of a king, I'm just trying to free your chains. Can't believe my eyes either, is it real or is it fake? They say it's all love, let's give it a moment, just wait. Show me, give it a chance, how much longer it's gonna take. Dedicated to this mission, but thoughts race through my brain, do they even care? They say no soldier left behind, when do you leave them there? Please beware, team full of lions feasting on gazelles. You thinking this is facade, then you don't know me well. My life is transparent, watch me show and tell. So much weight make my shoulders swell, but yeah, I'm getting beastie though. Bench pressing the stress, blowing clouds of the reefer smoke. The path that I chose, no such thing as the easy road. I fell asleep and left the reefer road. And sobered up, notice the world still revolving, and mine ain't special cause everybody got problems. Said, is it fake or is it real? I need to know, is it exposed? Heart on my sleeve, you know exactly what it is. There ain't no stopping me from handling my biz. So tell me how you feel. Said, is it fake or is it real? I need to know, is it exposed? Part on my sleeve, you know exactly what it is. There ain't no stopping me from handling my biz. Yeah.
All right, I think we're good now. What's good, fam? How's life? How you doing? Shout out to the D. What up, though? Excuse me. And shout out to 4429. Thanks for tuning in. And typically we don't get started anyway for about the first 15 minutes. You know how we are. We get a little late. And I'm not the most technologically savvy individual on the planet, so that don't help. But anyway, y'all see the topic. And again, let me make sure that I make it very, very clear. We ain't on here to bash anybody. We ain't on here to talk about anybody's family or be disrespectful to anybody. We on here to talk about things like adults. You know, so let's get that out the way. And actually, I will repeat that as we go further. And if you cannot abide by that, I'll hang up on you. It is that simple. You know, it's not a time for arguing per se, but if we can't talk about things amongst ourselves, how we gonna ever fix things? And it's gotten crazy, and myself, I've gotten involved in it. You know, I got pissed off. Like I was legitimately pissed off about some shit that people were saying to the point that I unfriended people. Yes, I did. I'm not gonna lie. I was that angry because I didn't want to argue with you, but I just did not want to be bothered. You know, and I had to think about that. Like, that's ridiculous, you know, on my part. I had to check myself. Like, what are you doing? You that angry about, you know, in essence, it is a movie. Oh, ain't no in essence, it's a movie. You know, how childish am I being? Is this an example that I want to set for the next generation? And then I had to think about what the other side was saying at the same time. I get the essence of the argument that we buying into something that the white people then created. Okay, I get that. You know, but at the same time, you know, the retort is always going to be, you pay your light bill, you pay your cell phone, you got a car, you got a mortgage, and you talking about somebody else doing something for the white man. You got a mortgage. So there is a healthy argument on both sides of the coin. My problem personally is the way we've been arguing. It is not, it is not a civil discourse that we deserve amongst each other. It is not done with respect or to appreciate that somebody else doesn't have to think like me. It is done to crush people, to intimidate people, to bulldoze people, into thinking just like you think. That's unfair and unhealthy. And I wasn't really trying to get on my soapbox or nothing like that, but it has bothered me. And it's like, well, on the one hand, because we've done a lot of shows over the years, where we've had some phenomenal intellectuals on the show. We've had some people that have gone through some tragic things over the show. We've had some really quality shows over the years. And one thing we try to do was kind of stay away from, quote unquote, a lot of the mainstream things. However, this hurt me personally. So it's hard to say stay away from the main thing. I guess it's a fine line. Anyway, and I do believe this is the Queen Afi on the line, so hold on one second. What's good, Queen?
Hey, peace. What's going on?
No, I was just kind of, I was getting on the soapbox heavy right quick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm just sitting up here talking about, just kind of kicking the show off a little bit and just talking about, like, the venom that people are arguing with, and myself included.
Yeah, I haven't even suck you in. They've been trying to suck me in, but I've been resisting. So
I have not been that successful, and typically, that's not me. Like
I know. I definitely think that it's a good topic for us to have, but I think that people. I think the problem is that people don't understand where the whole movie originated from, and because they don't, they've applied what they know about, wanting to be, blackness and black power. They applied it to something that initially didn't have anything to do with that, and still doesn't have anything to do with that outside of the aware or conscious community, or whatever phrase people want to choose to say. Outside of that, none of this is going on. None of this exists. Nobody cares. None of my friends who aren't conscious, even particularly remotely, are having the kind of conversations that I'm seeing on social media. So I've been, on social media for like 10 minutes and then going about my day because I just see a bunch of uninformed opinions. And a lot of them come from people who went to see the movie and are still discouraging people from seeing it, or people who haven't seen it at all. So they really
when you say uninformed opinion, that's like an oxymoron. Like, all opinions are, to an extent, it's either opinion or fact. So
they should be, but I got an opinion on being white, and I ain't never been white. So as ridiculous as it sounds, it shouldn't happen. Adults, solid-minded people shouldn't make uninformed opinions, because you're right, it is oxymoron, but we do it all the time. I mean, I ain't never had a ghost chili, but I can tell you that bitch hot. You know what I'm saying?
But my thing is, it's not even for me. It's not even about, at this point, which side you on, as far as whether you like the movie or you dislike the movie. And make no mistake about it, I thought the movie was phenomenal. I thought it was a great movie. I thought that the quote unquote social aspect verbally was done in an impeccable way. I just thought it was a really dope movie, and it happened to be a comic book hero. Like, had I known, if you never had a comic book, I still thought it was dope. And I do like the fact that little kids across the planet will look at, and I saw a video of two little kids, couldn't have been no older than 5, and they were pointing at the poster in the movie theater, and they were picking who they were in that. That shit means something.
It does. But then you have to realize you're dealing with a bunch of grown-ass people who do a lot of talking and not a lot of action. The whole point of what we're doing in the conscious community should be for a better future, which requires our children, requires us to think about our children. They're not thinking about that. They're thinking about how it affects them. It's not important to them. It's not changing their life. They don't care about the imagery. They don't care about this, that, or the third. They're not considering how it affects children. And it's just the bottom line. So I'm not taking any of them. As an artist, I was like, well, I could get offended.
You see it differently.
I totally see it differently. And I'm thinking, especially these people that want to rant and rave about, would a Black Panther organization party, a movie sell out, like a movie about the Black Panther Party. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking to myself, you have no idea how much Black imagery and propaganda the Black Panther Party put out into the world that changed how children, including adults, but for the most part, children felt about themselves and what they could. Clearly, if you're going to beat up on Obama, you took away the highest position in this country that you can tell your child to strive for. It's no more, you can be president if you don't want to be president. So what else are you telling your children to strive for? And I'm not saying tell them to strive for a fictional character, but definitely strive for a Black community that's about unity, that you see people that look like you. You know what I'm saying?
Man, and don't let's not act like little boys, especially. Don't be like I played Superman when I was a kid. Like that shit would have been dope if I'd have known about Black Panther.
I'm a comic geek, and it's not that many Black comic superheroes aside from Storm and Catwoman. You can't even really call. It's like, can we have something without you complaining? If you don't care, if it doesn't affect you, if at the end of the day your whole point is about the money, the $25 and here it wasn't even that much, in Houston, but I know in some places tickets were like up to $25. If that bothers you that much, that somebody took $25 and went and bought a ticket to the show, let's see you encourage all of the time with group economics. Let's see you all the time say, I just put my $25 with this Black business, with this Black school, with this Black comic book. Mm-hmm. How many? If I'm not mistaken, how many people did we have on with the comic book guy? How many listeners did we have?
Man, tell me about that one. Tell me about that. And hold that thought for 1 second. Hold that thought for 1 second, because we got let me get the number out here too. I forgot to do that. My bad. But if you want to call in, it's 347-855-8692. You got to press 1 to let us know that you want to get on air. We do got somebody in the queue already too. Shout out to Detroit. And so hold on, Queen. I know, my bad, but let's get to 7620 right quick, because the switchboard kind of lightened up, and that kind of echoes your point, But we're going to get into that, too. Hold on 1 second. What's good, fam?
Hey, peace. What up?
What's going on, bro?
Peace.
Hey, peace. Hey, I only got a couple things to say.
What you got, bro?
All right. So what I got is from the point of view of people that are not on Facebook. Because just like you, I engaged in some hardcore back and forth on Facebook about the movie. But the thing about it is, I spent over $200 on tickets.
Mm-hmm.
I already got the bootleg. I had the bootleg already. I got it from Asia, so I already had it. But the reason I spent this much on tickets is because the people who I purchased the tickets for, including myself, needed to see all the beautiful images. Basically, all these children, all they see is, it's Black History Month. So every Black child almost right now are learning about slavery.
Mm-hmm.
They're not learning about Black supremacy. They're not learning anything that's positive. It's the whole world is filled with negative images, and that's what's being fed to them. Even movies that we like. A lot of people who are complaining about the movie, they love Belly. They love Paid in Full. We all like all these movies, Friday, all these movies, but our children, including us, growing up, we were never fed these kind of Afrofuturistic movies, images that just say what it is. In the movie, when the white guy woke up, she said, don't scare me, colonizer. She just said it like that. She didn't say it mean or nothing. She just said it matter-of-factly. So when children hear stuff like that, what they hear is that's just what it is. Everyone kept referring to the white man as the colonizers. And then the one tribe wouldn't even let them speak. And they just showed how the white people in the movie, their nature, and then they showed the black people's nature. It's just all the images. So I just wanted to say, there's all the debate on Facebook, and the source of the debate is they feel like no one supports their groups. No one supports the black community. Nobody supports their causes or their little revolutionary group or whatever they're selling. But the thing about it is, Ryan Coogler and all these actors, they needed to make this movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good time. Right now is the best time to make this movie. Not just so-called conscious people, but most black people right now are waking up in some form or fashion. This movie was timely. And when you look at the interviews of Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, all the interviews, all they're talking about is not how much money they gave the white man. They're talking about colonization. They're talking about the language that they're speaking. In the movie, South African language, they're talking about the technology, the culture. That's all they're talking about. And that's their focus. And so I wanted to support. That's why I bought over $200 worth of tickets, because those people are revolutionary. They're artists. All through every revolution has been propaganda. Through every war there's been propaganda.
Man,
artists are at the forefront of every revolution, period. And a lot of people who are narrow-minded and, you know, or just can't visualize it, they can't appreciate that. So I just wanted to say that. I also wanted to say I have 5 children. I have 13 cousins. They all have at least 5 children. So we all have a lot of children, so we have a lot of interest in our children seeing these types of things. And then as far as the money point, we're going to have to get over that. Hollywood funded this movie that every white supremacist in the nation are pissed off about. Who cares who funded it? Because if Malcolm X would have said, I'm not going to speak on a microphone because a white man made it, or let a white man's video camera film it, we wouldn't know who he was right now.
Right.
That's a good point.
We wouldn't know who he was. All we would have is the government and white folk hating on the Nation of Islam, and then we would have never been able to produce these things. The publishing company that made his autobiography is white. The Malcolm X movie is white. And all these people who've been woken up by these things produced by the white man come full circle hating on the same platforms. So it's just really illogical, in my opinion.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I would have to agree with you on that, bro. And I definitely appreciate you calling in, too, man. Shout out to you, bro.
All right.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
You know, and before we get to this next caller, we got a 1844 in the queue also. I kind of wanted to address, like, one thing I saw people talking about is why they dress like that. Like, this is the first time that we've ever done that, and it's not. Like, if you're old enough to remember Crush Groove, man, I'm telling you, everybody had on Adidas. Everybody had on the Run DMC jogging suits. You know, everybody had on the Gazelles and the Kangos. Like, people dressed up to go see that shit. You know, the generation before that had the Wiz. You know, that was an event in the hood. You know, that wasn't something, you know, like every movie is not like that. But once in a generation, you get a movie that just captivates us. But make no mistake about it, you know, it ain't new. It's just been a while. You know, so on that note, and salute to you, King. Did anybody did you have anybody you wanted to say what's up to, anything like that before we get to the next caller, bro? I think you're gone anyway.
No, I'm here. I put it on mute. No, I just want to say what's up to Afi on the phone right now. Peace to her. Peace to Detroit. Oh, speaking of Detroit, so want to throw this in there too. Some of the same people I argue with on Facebook, almost daily they go to a venue that I built. But the thing about it is, maybe they don't realize it, but the materials I used came from the white man. It just don't make any sense to me. You know, I seen one of the brothers in the spot today, literally, arguing on Facebook about the movie tickets, about the white man, sitting in the spot that I built, $13,000 reconstruction we just did. All that money went to the white man. So, yeah, that's my only point.
Yeah,
we got to use logic. And that was a point in the movie too, which is, yeah, and in the movie, it was the logic too. A lot of the people were like, Killmonger. Of course we all want to be Killmonger because he wanted to kill the oppressor. But then at the same time, we got to look at it logically. He even used logic, even though I didn't all the way agree with his point, but he was a CIA agent. He was in the military. He went around the whole world killing black people.
Yeah.
And that's the point that a lot of people skip over just to prove their point, which is, we don't need to see the movie, we just need to go out and, you know, be RBG and go do this stuff. But he did all that to his goal, but then he turned around and used the resources. Again, it's the resources of
and maybe he provided a roadmap too. If you really want to get to the nitty gritty of it, you know, instead of being critical of the movie, and why don't you look at how he at least got to the point of accomplishing his goal? Maybe you can extrapolate something for that. But on that note, King, we do got to get to the next caller because we got a lot of people on the switchboard, man. Definitely appreciate your time and your energy, bro.
Most definitely. Peace.
No doubt. Peace.
Peace. Thank you for calling in.
Peace. Thank you for calling in. No, I'm just messing with you. Let's get to 1844 right quick. And I don't know if that was me or he hung up, but the call dropped. So I don't think I did that. But if I did, my apologies, King. But 1844, what's good, fam?
What's going on?
What's going on, bro? How you doing?
It's your boy Al Stacy in the building.
What's going on, King?
You know, just trying to help us build.
I feel that, man. What do you think about or are you even seeing that energy? You know, where people are literally going at people's throats over the movie.
Absolutely. But we cannot get it, you know, misconstrued. You're not going to be able to please everyone. You know, long time coming, long time going. I'm also in the film business, you know, and I think it's beautiful that, you know, as black people, we can create the imagery that we want to see. Now, how long did it take us to get to even that plateau? So, you know, you can't, you know, get all of the arguments in one, you know, platform. You're not going to be able to please everybody.
True. That's a fact, you know. And that's in anything you do in life. But my question is, why do you think that there's so much venom, though? Like, what separates this from other the other 50 million arguments we have? Why are people so angry?
Well, again, you know, I'm going to stand on what I said. You can't please everybody all the time. It's just like, you know, anytime black people try to get something done, you will always have those few that can pick an argument apart, you know, to the utmost. But the reality is, you know, we are creating our own imagery, and that's where the fight lies. Being able to say, you know, hey, black people are doing what they need to do for themselves. And, you know, that's where my passion lies.
You know, and I don't think people I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I was cutting you off.
I don't think people respect the efficacy of good propaganda.
Well, yeah, you know, but that's a phenomenon, if you don't mind me cutting in on you. You know, the fundamental disrespect for black life is deeply entrenched in American culture, if I could use the word culture. Because, you know, America wouldn't have culture if it wasn't for black folk. Let's just, tell it like it is.
Yeah.
But, again, it's kind of hard when you think of, when you think of black people coming out of the enslavement process, there's never been a healing process. We got a bunch of renegade, professors or what have you that fought hard just to open the eyes of black people. Now, that in and of itself is phenomenal, but there has never been like this, how would you say, again, it's kind of hard when you think of, type of, when you think of black people coming out of the enslavement process, there's never been a healing process. Dilemma. We got a bunch of renegade, professors or what have you that fought hard and put them in the oven and teach them that just to open the eyes of years. When you open that oven, black people, you will have chickens that believe they are biscuits. Now the mind is, what they are nominal. But they physically believe they have never been like this. So how would you say, trying to convince, it's kind of hard when you think of, people to see, when you think of black people coming out of the enslavement process, there's never been a healing process. We got a bunch of renegade, professors or what have you that fought hard, put them in the oven and teach them that just to open the eyes of years, when you open that oven, black people have chicken. Now that is the mind is what they are not, but they're, brother, my sweat never been like from you, how would you say, it's kind of hard when you think of, black people coming out of the enslavement process. There's never been a healing process. We got a bunch of renegade, professors or what have you that fought hard, put them in the oven and teach them that just to open the eyes of years, when you open that oven, black people have chicken. Now that is, the mind is, what they are not, but they're, brother, my sweat never been like from you, how would you say, it's kind of hard when you think of, black people coming out of the enslavement process. There's never been a healing process. We got a bunch of renegade, professors or what have you that fought hard, put them in the oven and teach them that just to open the eyes of years, when you open that oven, black people have chicken. Now that is, the mind is, what they are not, but they're, brother, my sweat never been like from you, how would you say, it's kind of hard when you think of, black people coming out of the enslavement process. There's never been
personality disorders that are not conducive to us being able to unify and to succeed collectively, because that's not what we've been taught. And I mean, even now, we live our life on an individualistic basis instead of a collective basis. So we can go to the theater and we can see this beautiful presentation of people, sacrifice. For example, the sister warriors and the sisters like, I don't love anything but my king in Wakanda, giving up her life and what she could possibly enjoy over here on the side for what's best for the collective. We don't do that. We don't understand how to do that, and that is the foundation of not any particular African country, African culture, period. The foundation is a collective mindset, and because we've been westernized, we have that individualistic mindset. So everyone is, well, how does it affect me? It didn't affect me. It didn't benefit me. I don't see the point. No one's thinking, but did our entire group collectively benefit from that? Even if it's not a direct benefit, what about the future? How is this going? No one's doing that. And that's what I think the biggest issue is, and no one's going to admit that. But black people got a hard time admitting where our faults lie.
Right.
So I think that's a big part. I don't know how they did it in the 60s and the 70s, how they got people to get on one accord collectively, but I know a lot of it had to do with propaganda. A lot of it has to do with images and people getting fed up. And people are comfortable, and they're not fed up enough yet to see that they're joining the battle that's keeping us down instead of getting on the good foot.
Right.
Yep.
But if you
people
justify
people justify their place in white supremacy based upon how it benefits them, whether they realize it or not.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, people I've seen when someone said about Facebook, but you bitching about, you arguing about it on Facebook. You're ranting about people paying $25 to go see almost completely black cast of black people on Facebook, which is white owned. That doesn't even go together. And the first thing people say, well, I don't pay for Facebook. As if that's the only, as if that's the only resource that these kind of engines, that social media engines get out. I mean, what about them scanning your face? What about them knowing your personal information? What about the inboxes, which are like so you telling me your $25 is what's making you mad, but not all of this personal information and space that you're giving away when you log on Facebook every day. I mean, I'm sure I hope a lot of people that's listening know about the black identity extremist case that's going on in Texas right now, where they was following, the FBI was following the man for 2 years on Facebook and as well as at his house, compiling pictures and messages, and Facebook had a big part to do with it. But you're complaining about somebody giving their $20, not your $25. I didn't ask you for $25. My $25, you got a problem. But I didn't see all this when Get Out was going on. Oh, they love Get Out because it had the message that, leave the white girls alone. Oh, they was cool with that. They didn't care about the fact that the producer is married to a white woman. The studio was completely white. All of the actors except for 3 were black. They don't have a problem with that. And Get Out made more money. Get Out made more money than Black Panther has, and in the long run, it's probably going to make more money. And then with killing the most,
I really doubt that one, Queen. I really doubt that one. Hey, but we do got more people in the queue that we want to get to. Al, I definitely appreciate you calling up too, King. And you already know, man, we're gonna continue to build.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for having me.
Brother. Excellent point.
Excellent point. Definitely excellent point. Salute to you, King. We're going to get to 4727 right quick also.
Enough respect.
No doubt, man. And I kind of want to hear from somebody who has an issue with the movie, too. So if you out there, let me know. Now, don't come up. Let me remind y'all, we from goons to gods, and everybody is welcome. But you absolutely must be respectful. Believe that, or I will hang up on you. I'm telling you in advance. All right, we're going to get to 4727. Not that meant anything to you personally, my bad. But hold on one second. What's good, fam?
No, I'm taking it personal. No, I'm just messing. No, good job. Glad y'all. So glad to discuss this in a good way, man. I think the truth on this kind of lies in the middle. I think both sides are going a little bit too far. The people who are criticizing it are, making it this anti-capitalist whole idea, and it's like, okay, what functions in capitalism do you participate in on the daily, bro? Like, calm down. Like, we're not talking about a revolutionary group right now if we're talking about African Americans. So, the criticism of it, there's some things to criticize, but I saw it. It's a good movie. I think it'll be real good for children and thinking of themselves into the future and thinking about what, could possibly be. So, there's definitely some benefits to it. But us right now as a culture, we are a mobilizing people, not an organizing people. So we can mobilize around an event, a cop shooting, some bad sentencing, or some movie or some book that comes out. We can immediately gravitate towards it, mobilize. Now, the problem becomes afterwards we go back to our old ways, sit down, The dashiki you bought for the Black Panther premiere sits in your closet. You never wear it again. It was a costume, not a culture change. So there's a lot to criticize, but there's a lot of beneficial stuff. Ryan Coogler, really ill dude. If you hear him speak, sounds like all of us. Good Africana English. Really talented dude that took some time to really research to put this out. The symbolism he has in the movie. The man kicking that spear in half, a la Shaka Zulu, before one of the final fights. The idea that African people can see themselves, to a certain degree, not only advanced but also working together. But the thing that sticks out most to me is the people who've seen this movie and how they are really, really against, the villain in the movie to the point of they want everybody to know how against it they are. And that goes to our fear of chasing power, because that dude had a military mind state of this is war, this is what I want to do. And I don't care who gets in my way, this is what I'm doing. We still want to kind of appeal to people's morality and think, hey, man, if we just get along, sooner or later they'll act right. Well, that doesn't change the power dynamic. So if somebody got a crowbar, you can convince them to stop hitting you. But it's a much better idea to have your own crowbar and stop them from being able to hit you. So that's the dilemma we're in. Good movie. I recommend it. But people who are acting like it's some kind of revolutionary thing that's going to change lives and all of that, pump your brakes, man. It's a movie. Pump your brakes. Pump your brakes.
All right, King. Definitely appreciate your time and your wisdom, bro. And I can't disagree with you at all. And not that I'm looking to, but, valid points. And I love the energy, too.
Yeah, and I recommend it. Hey, but go see it in your zip code. Go in there and see people in the theater that look like you working. Hey, man, get them some more shifts. Some extra bread in their pocket if you can. Hell, figure out a way to make sure we benefit from this as a whole. But, let's just calm down a little bit. This didn't change.
That's a hell of an idea, too. I don't think I've heard anybody say that, too. That makes a lot of sense. So if you can, go in your hood, check it out with your people. Some movies, and I'm gonna keep it a stack. Like I'm at the point in life where I generally like to just go to the show and be able to hear the whole show, and I don't want no young kids in there with me. This was one of those movies where I wanted the young kids, the old people, and everybody else in between with me. I wanted to hear, and so I got to go back, because when I went, I didn't go to that place. I just went to the place that had tickets Thursday because I had to work Friday, and I wanted to see the movie.
If you tell black people, man, go in your zip code, go and say, circulate the money in your community. The kids working there are black. The manager at the theater, man, they're gonna go in there and they're gonna have complaints. They're going to have complaints about the noise, or about the usher was rude, or about the popcorn didn't have enough butter. I mean, and I ain't going to lie, I don't care what anybody say. I know what I do. I know where my money go. I know how black I am, and I know how much my money circulate in the community. And I'm going to a theater where I'm going to be able to order me a steak and a glass of wine, and I can lean my seat back and put my feet up and enjoy.
Wait a minute, what theater are you going to where you can order a steak and a glass of damn wine?
Oh man, what? Studio Grill? Studio Grill.
How rich are you?
Studio
I don't
Grill
even know who you are.
Man, a steak is like $18.95. It's really not that serious. I would have spent more on that going out to Outback. Texas. This is Texas. We eat steak. Okay?
That's date night for us. What are you talking about? Anyway, we got a lot of other people in the queue. I want to make sure everybody get a chance to add to the bill. I'm sorry, King. What you say?
Can I say one more thing? We talk badly about us in the theaters, but at the same time, there's sometimes where it enhances the feeling. When I was at the theater I was at, when she's called, oh boy, a colonizer, everybody fell out laughing. I would be interested to know in other theaters if that became an awkward moment where
it's not, because you're gonna get a joke.
Where I went to go see it, it was silence in that bitch, because it was like 80% them and 20% us, and we was all. I won't say it was silence. It was silence on their part.
we get cultural cues that they don't get. We get cultural jokes and little behaviors and stuff that they don't get. I mean, we make everything more fun. Everything. I would rather go to a theater with 100 black folks that don't know how to close their mouth than go with 100 white folks that's not going to make the experience entertaining for me. And plus, ain't nobody going to be dressed up and stuff. I'm here for the outfit. I'm here for the pants. Okay, I'm here for the. Did y'all see the King of Zamunda with his little leopard on that looked a hot mess?
Yeah,
I was here for all of that.
Yeah.
It looked like he had a paper bag stapled around his stomach. It was a mess, but it was beautiful.
It was a mess. But we got to move on to the next caller, too. Definitely appreciate your time and your energy, King, man. And, hey, if you see a post, share a post, man. We here, typically we here every Thursday. We just had to do this show, man. So we're going to get to, no doubt. I think we got, 3203 next and then 7404 after that. What's good, fam?
What's good?
What's going on, bro?
Welcome.
Chilling, man.
So what you think, man?
I mean, the movie was great, you know. I just the only beef I had with the movie itself was it didn't show enough. You know what I mean? Like, and of course I know they're, you know, limited by 2 hours or whatever, you know, making a movie, but what I would have liked to see was, you know, Wakanda itself was supposed to be this, you know, grand, futuristic, highly technical city. And if you don't know anything about the comic books, right?
Yeah.
The way it came, right? So the way it came off as if Wakanda is highly technically advanced because his sister is a genius. You know what I mean? Not because there's just a culture of excellence, a culture of science and engineering that exists there. Now, they showed somewhat a culture of excellence, but you really only got to see the royal court, not how they train up their kids in order to build all this, you know, this city and stuff that they have. You know what I mean? So, to me, it kind of came off
a comic book. You got time to develop all of that too.
Yeah. And then the second thing I think they didn't show well enough was Killmonger's background. You know what I mean? Like, because like to me in the movie, he just came off as you know, just an angry homeboy from Oakland that was, you know, that could fight. You know what I mean? And
no, I don't.
I think people really got Killmonger's character. I think, and I was surprised by that. People quickly caught that he wasn't quite a villain. He was more of the moral compass that the entire community should have had. I think black people got that. Maybe that's not the way they wanted to write it in the comic, but black people definitely got that, which I was glad for.
Yeah, now Killmonger,
it's almost like we all go through a little bit of that conflict on a daily basis. Do I choke the shit out that pasty or not? You know, like you had that thought.
No, like for me, like I don't have a problem with Killmonger's anger. I just have a problem with how they did his background story. You know what I mean? Like they didn't show
what's
enough.
Your name, brother?
Reese.
Reese. Okay, you sound just like my homeboy.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't show enough of his background to me to make to give the character more depth. Like his background was he's a graduate of Annapolis, which is one of the highest military academies. He's Navy SEAL. He's Black Ops. He has 2 PhDs from MIT. You see what I'm saying? And he was just portrayed as just, you know what I'm saying, with very, what I call street mannerisms, which I don't have a problem with. I just think it should have showed some of his like more of his upbringing and how he stewed in his anger planning his attacks for 20 years. You know what I mean? Like I think they should just show more of that.
That's a whole other movie right there, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I get what you're saying, but you know, like time wise, you know, I guess it's like you got to choose. Do you develop his character or T'Challa's?
Right.
You know, and they try to do the best they could to with a little bit of both, but more so to develop the whole storyline. And that way, you get the storyline out the way in the first one, and then if y'all gonna do another one or another one after that, then you can kind of go into developing those individual characters. At least that's the way I would see it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and I feel you on that. Just now Killmonger, well from the looks of it, he's dead. He may not be a dead character. Hopefully, they bring him back and develop his story a little more. Man. So. He just don't seem like, the angry black guy from Oakland,
No doubt,
man. And like give his background story some justice. I mean, because the man would be a product of. Of course, he's a product of Oakland, but that type of background, that's just pure black excellence, like at its peak. You know what I mean? And to me, he just came off. Like in the movie, he just came off as amateurish versus the highly sophisticated person that he should have been.
Now, the one thing I will say before we get to the next caller, too, because I got to get to, I think it's 7404, but I think what's kind of being overlooked, at least from what I've seen, is he was upset that T'Challa didn't do more for black people globally, but neither did he.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like getting all kind of lumped on T'Challa that, but you seem to be just, a phenomenal dude in your own right who could have had just the biggest impact, at least on Oakland, not to mention the world, but you didn't. So I found that to be a little interesting, too. I definitely... What do you think about before I let you go too? I want to know what you think about the venom that has been going on as far as people arguing about this movie.
I think it's I think it's a good debate out there going. You know what I mean? Like and of course the character of Killmonger, he just represents black anger towards what has happened in the past, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you know what I'm saying? And you always have the Malcolm X versus the Martin Luther King camps out there, So like to me, the debate between, T'Challa and Killmonger is the debate between Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, pick your poison.
I'm trying to think, who was that? Somebody made it. I can't think of it right now. Damn, I wish I had took a note on that one. But definitely, I'm just over here talking to myself, a whole conversation. Don't mind me. Definitely appreciate your time and your energy, King. And don't forget, subscribe to the show, man. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's My Skin Is My Sin 1 on Instagram and Twitter, and it's My Skin Is My Sin on YouTube. So y'all check that out, man, and share the post too for us. I'm always blocked. I got blocked again today. Yeah. All right, definitely appreciate that, King.
It.
No doubt.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
All right. And matter of fact, let me get a number out right quick. It is 347-855-8692. If you want to get on air, you got to press 1. We are also live, I believe, currently on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So if you got a question or a comment and you don't want to really call up, you can hit us up on one of those, and we'll get to you and let the people know what you'd like to ask or your comment. And I do got to go in the group, too, because somebody had a really deep comment. They didn't want to call up, but they wanted me to put that out there. So after we get to 7404, who has been patient is I don't know what, then we'll get to that comment. So hold on one second. What's good, fam?
What's up, John?
Hey.
What's going on, King?
Hey, fam.
Jake Dizzle in the building.
Yeah.
So what you think, bro?
I like one of the points that you made about how Killmonger, as much as he was critical of T'Challa, and we know that he had superpowers to some degree because he had, he was Wakanda, so he had that thing in his mouth, so he could have had a better impact in his community. And that same kind of hypocrisy, and don't get me wrong, I like Killmonger. I think he's dope. I think if his approach was different, it would have steered the movie a different way. But hey, it's a Marvel movie, so we got to remember this is just a movie. It's a movie. It's not reality. So, but yeah, that was interesting. But that's kind of like the same hypocrisy of these people who went so hard against the movie, and then they went into their movie. They went so hard against the movie. Oh, you're putting money in the white man's pockets, and you're it's Disney and Illuminati, and then they wouldn't into their movie any damn way. So like, and he had that thing in his mouth. So you know what I'm saying? Like, how can we take you serious? You're not standing on your square. I showed 1804 to the public Saturday, and you know what I'm saying, there's a lot of youth that was there as well. And we made time to have a little conversation, and part of the conversation was the movie. You know what I'm saying? And the youth, they only seen positive things in the movie. They saw the imagery that made them feel good in the movie. So it's interesting that a lot of these grown adults are missing this opportunity to engage, and they're seeing just the negative things. Oh, yeah, well, the CIA agent had the black people fighting against each other. Oh, well, he grabbed that girl by the throat and this and that. Like, this is a movie. We watch MMA. That's real. We watch boxing. That's real-life brothers beating the shit out of each other, excuse the language. You know what I'm saying? But this is a movie. Mm-hmm. So why are we seeing the negative out of it, and why are we upset at people who are excited to see a black superhero? Why is these the movies that make us start arguing and getting mad at each other? But we wasn't mad at 12 Years a Slave. We wasn't mad at all these other movies that depict us as hoodlums and prostitutes and drug dealers and gangbangers. We don't go hard about these movies, but then we want to go hard about a black superhero, and that's ridiculous. Like what? Maybe I think some of our people. Maybe I think some of our people's they're unrealistic in their expectations for a Hollywood flick. It's a movie.
But you know what? I asked a couple of people, who would have did it better? What studio would have did it better? Nobody got a reasonable answer. What studio would have did it better? What would have did us justice? What would have did the costumes and the sound effects and the visual? Who would have did it justice?
And another question that you should ask
I don't even think people really care about that. It's just like we're looking for the next shit to argue with.
That's the point.
I think another question should be, well, let's say that a pro-black director and filmmaker wanted to raise the funds to make a movie that we can tell from our perspective totally 100% independent. How many of these naysayers would have really put up the money to help fund that film?
The same amount that put up to help fund 1804.
Come on.
The same amount. So if you got 2% of the conscious community donating to that, you're gonna get a movie that's gonna look like 2% of the conscious community donated to that. If you making a movie that look like you got all of these white people that's invested in the Marvel series as they've been for the last, what are we at now, 60 years? You think that these people are going to churn out a movie after all of the succession of all of these other movies that have been dynamic on screen? You think because they get to a black comic, they're going to make it any less dynamic? I'm sorry people missed the boat on the comic. I'm sorry they didn't get the background and the purpose. But because you missed the boat on Marvel, on DC, on comics, period, doesn't mean that a movie, because it's primarily black, needs to be based on your understanding of what a black movie needs to look like. That movie doesn't look any different.
And you know the sad part about that, though, too, is if he had a $10,000 budget, then everybody be slamming him for how cheesy shit look.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know, like you're not gonna win. You know, with some people, you're just not gonna win. And I'm saying that. And one thing I will say is that I'm not dismissive of the quote unquote other side's argument. And I hate to even kind of use that. But, you know, make no mistake, it's two sides to an argument. I'm not dismissive of the argument, and I'm not saying that sometimes they don't have valid points. You know, but when you know, it's like you get stuck up on that one valid point, and it blinds you from the bigger issue, the bigger point.
Right.
You know, like in 25 years, Howard Film School will be teaching this movie to a generation of kids that this was their first movie they saw.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Not only that,
I remember Star Wars. I remember Star Wars like to this day.
Yeah, and I'm a Star Wars fanatic. what? I'm a Star Wars fanatic. I act a whole fool when a new Star Wars or spinoff comes out. Ain't nobody ever told me that I was cooning or being a jigaboo because I went and saw Star Wars. No. You know what I wanted to add to that about people that's talking about black production companies? Do you know when Tyler Perry put out this morning that some of the scenes were shot at his studio, niggas was mad because they don't like Tyler Perry? So they was mad. They had something to say about that. Oh, yeah, Tyler Perry. Oh, Tyler Perry make us look bad. He wear dresses. He's gay, this, that, and the third. Y'all just got finished complaining about it not being shot by a white that is being shot by a white studio, and you find out that some of it is being shot at a black studio, and you Negroes are still not happy. I was just scrolling. I didn't even comment. I was like, I just don't have the energy for this foolishness today. It just didn't. And then people getting so deep. People are like, oh, they, Panthers. They don't even have Panthers in Africa. See, we really from America. They really trying to tell us. They really trying to show us that we're native to that. I'm like, oh, you Negroes are so irky. So irky. That's the point. No one studied. A panther, a leopard and a jaguar is a panther. But did anybody bother to look that up? No.
Right.
But they
somebody actually said that, though.
Man, you don't know how many people I had to correct. Just because for a while I got into animal science and classification really deep in high school, and I was like, yeah, no, they're all panthers. It's like a Great Dane and a pit bull are both dogs. They're both panthers. They just got different names because of the region. This one dude tried to argue me down. I was like, you know what? Okay, I don't like using Google, but let me go Google since you won't take my word for it. And then after that, well, I understand your fact system, but I was just trying to think deeper. I was like, all right, brother, you have a good one. I can't with people. I can't.
Wait, he said I was trying to think deeper.
He said he was trying to think deeper. He was like, well, if they got different colors and they're in two different areas on the planet, they got different names for a reason. I said, yeah, because different people name them different things. You take a giraffe out of Africa and put it in America, it's still a giraffe. That doesn't make, man, I was so, I wouldn't vote.
You know what, I don't understand, though. Like, I saw a lot of people liking the post that I have seen several of those people going in on the movie, like, pretty bad. Where you at? It's your opportunity. Let's talk it up.
Man, they
call up and state your case. I want to know.
They listen to all this logic and not prepared to defend their silly position. I'll say it.
Well, see, I'm not going to be disrespectful like that, though. We're not going to offend nobody.
No, that's what it is.
It's not a silly position. It's their opinion.
That was
not silly.
That was silly.
Whatever.
You know why that was silly? Images and propaganda got Hitler to get all of these white people. They had a moral compass before to kill over 6 million Jewish people, right? Imagery with the Bible got white people owning the majority of Africa's resources, right? Imagery got Native Africans thinking that we not shit, that we don't do nothing but pussy pop and sell drugs all day, right? Imagery got us thinking that everybody over there got a fly in the crack of their eye.
Yep.
But they don't get it.
That's so true.
They don't get it. They don't get it. So call with your opinion if you got a problem with black imagery in Black Panther, or if you got a problem with somebody giving a $25 for going to see some positive black imagery on film. And I'm going to ask you questions about the major imagery that's controlling
she will be
black
polite.
people in this country. I'm gonna be polite, like I'm being polite now, because I'm a polite lady. Okay.
That's debatable.
My daddy taught me.
Debatable.
My daddy taught me to be polite. I curtsy. I feel curtsy when I see my great grandma. I don't know what you talking about. Okay. I put my pinky up when I drink Kool-Aid.
Oh, what was I thinking? You just made me lose my train of thought too, because I wanted to debunk another one of those, one of the arguments, and damn it! I hope it come back to me because I'm sitting over here, and I should have wrote it down and I didn't. I get back to it. Hold on. I gotta let people know what number to call. It's 347-855-8692. Press 1 if you do want to get on air. And that is interesting, you know, that people they're a little MIA right now. Because I was expecting one, you know, especially one person in particular, like, yeah, I'm calling up.
I saw.
All right, well, what you got? Huh?
I saw. When you met. I saw she was all aggressive today. She was talking about we funding our killing. We funding our killing by watching Black Panther, by going to the movie theater. We funding our killing. I'm wondering, are we funding our killing when we go see all of these other movies? Was we funding our killing then? That's what I want to know. When the Disney movies come out and the little kids want to go see and sing the little SpongeBob and stuff, I'm wondering, are we funding our killing then? I was just curious. I was here for it.
I mean, yeah, because we're gonna watch a movie at some point. Like most of us.
But you know
are.
what?
Now, there are some people. Now, I did see one guy, like he was like, I don't even have a TV in my house. When you started off like that, how are you? You're not gonna see the movie. Like, at least see the movie and then make a judgment call. To do it just based on the trailers, which the trailers are phenomenal, by the way. But to do it just on the trailers is intellectually dishonest. You are making a call on something that you have not researched.
If they go see it, though, then it's going to be defeating the purpose of them having an opposing opinion. So they got to wait for the bootleg, or they got to use Fire Stick, which is owned by a white company, mind you. Fire Stick is owned by Amazon. Bezel, the richest man in the world, is a white man that lives in Arizona.
Make a judgment.
Thank you very much. Are we funding our assassinations, our genocide, by making this funky rich billionaire richer with our Fire Sticks?
That's an interesting comment, though, that we're funding our genocide. I don't think I heard that one. Wow, that's kind of wow. I don't even know how to jeez. Like why? My thing is this: if you see a great majority of us, for whatever reason, that's not harming anyone, that have collectively decided to celebrate anything. I don't care if we all came together and celebrated two ants kissing. If it made us happy and did not harm anyone, why are you upset? On that note, and I'm going to keep you in, Jay, but we're going to get to 4122 right quick.
Please have an opposing opinion. Please.
Good evening. How are you?
All right,
yes,
yourself.
Good evening. How are you? I'm good. Excellent conversation.
Thank you.
The movie itself, there were some key pieces that I really, really liked. Granted, I understand it's a movie. Got it. The meditation piece, the calling and the acknowledgement of the ancestors, something we should be doing anyway. The acknowledgement of the elders and the respect that they have, something that we have kind of lost that we need to get back. They maintained traditions, okay? And there was an overall message that I firmly believe in. And we as people, black people, do have organizations that are representative of something I saw in that movie. What I saw was black people who had their own land, their own technology, their own wealth. They took care of themselves. They built each other up, whether they were within Wakanda or outside, even those surrounding. If you notice those communities that surrounded Wakanda, they knew and they kept the secret. It was under wraps. They built themselves up. And I was kind of waiting to see if they were going to do what I thought they were going to do, and they did. They made sure that they had everything that benefits their people before opening the doors to the outside world. And I say that because oftentimes we have organizations that we include other people before we even have our foundation set.
That's right.
And that's something we got to stop doing. It's not being racist, nothing like that. And I say that because we have prime examples who've done that through history. A lot of people don't like them, but the Divine Nine, our fraternities and sororities, they all have their own economics. They have their own money. They all have their own buildings. They can build, and they have been building in other countries as well as in the United States. They have built wealth. They have their own guidelines. Their traditions, and I'm one of the Divine Nine, are extremely Afrocentric and African. You're going to just trust me on that when I say it, okay?
But
we got Greek letters.
Let me ask you this, though. They're very exclusionary also. How is that
absolutely
beneficial
so was Wakanda
to the larger society?
But that's just it. When they built up the resources like Wakanda, they opened their doors and they are able to help others. The Divine Nine, like the one that I belong to, I'm a Delta, they have done quite a bit in many communities, from literacy to building homes here as well as abroad, to sending children to school, to paying people's utilities, to buying food, to setting up businesses, to teaching people how to own businesses. There's a lot that they've done. It's just that people aren't aware because what we do as people sometimes, we hear those and we stop, they're Greek letters, so they're no good. So we don't bother to find out what's happening. Okay.
Well, that right there is a two-way street, and I'm gonna keep that all the way.
It is a two-way street, but
because the interactions that I have had with Greek organizations that I weren't cool with were not really positive ones. You know, like when I was younger, you go to you know. Well, hold on. Let me get my point across, though. Like, when I was younger and I was in college and we would go to a party, and I know this is totally off topic, and I do apologize for anybody waiting on some type of fireworks or something, but we tend to sometimes, we just let the conversation go where it's going to go. But, like, say, me and my people would go to a party or whatnot, and they would be insistent on people that were not in their organization acknowledging some of the rules and regulations, and that does not go over well in every particular area, and it was not taken kindly.
Well, and I do understand that, but and I can understand that piece, but I can also understand. See, it's the problem where we don't follow rules and regulations that keeps us from being able to build. I'm sorry. We need them.
Let me add
quickly.
I just want to add, sister, because I rushed for Delta at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, and there was absolutely nothing respectful, Afrocentric, responsible, or encouraging about the fiasco that I went through for the very short. No, let me.
And I
understand.
That.
It's my personal experience. You and I probably went at two different times to do different universities, so I'm not by any means saying that this is everyone's experience. But some people do not have good experiences rushing for Greek organizations, let alone Black Greek organizations. So you have to not be defensive and let people feel the way that they feel, especially when they have a personal experience about it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not being defensive at all, but you're missing the point that I'm making because you all drove into personal. I wasn't even there. What I was talking about is how they are examples of what the movie displays by building up their resources and then opening the doors. I didn't even go personal. It was you all that went personal. That's what I'm talking about. And as
how long had you been a Delta before you experienced those benefits, though? Because they don't do that. They don't do that when you're actually in college. You don't get any of that. You get that after you've graduated and you're a young professional and you rub elbows.
I would disagree with that one, though. I think you have to, first off, benefits are subjective. But secondly, depending on where you pledge and who you pledge with, there are some college benefits that you can also get too. I'm not going to deny that because I've seen someone benefit from it. And I wasn't saying what I said to necessarily be like every frat or every soror is horrible. I was just saying that you can't also do the opposite and say that all they are doing is greatness. And if people don't understand what y'all doing, it's people's fault.
But that's not what I was going for. You're missing the point completely. What I'm saying is we have examples of how one of our problems is when we start organizations, we want to add everybody in the rainbow to it. Instead of us coming together, working on it first, getting a solid foundation before we invite other people to come in and help us out. That's what I'm talking about, and that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I wasn't going into anything personal, but what I'm seeing is we do have examples. The Black Panther Party, they didn't allow anybody in. You could be friends of, but you had to be us. Okay? They had a lot of Caucasian people helping them. They had a lot of Asian people helping them, but they had no membership to the inner workings. So though we have past as well as present organizations that show us what you can do when you rely on your people, because there's a mindset that says that we as people can't do anything, and we need to stop that because we have examples that show us we can do it, and I don't know if that agenda of we can't get along, we can spend money on this movie, but we can't spend money with each other. I disagree with that. We got to start changing that narrative. We got to start rewriting our own narrative because we have examples that show you that we can be successful if we just do it ourselves and stop leaning on everybody and opening our doors and say, everybody, all skin colors, come on in and join us and help us out, and then we can't figure out why it's not working. Because they're going to have their pieces. That's all I'm saying.
I would agree with that. But with Black college organizations, it's not a matter of skin color. It's a matter, come on, let's be honest. You know that a lot of these
I'm just
organizations.
Talking about us.
I know. I'm talking. That's the point I'm getting to. That's the point I'm getting to. We make selections.
Sororities were 80 years and older. Did they open their doors to let the other skin colors in? They didn't do it in the very beginning.
That's not even the point that I'm going to make. With Black college organizations, Greek fraternities and sororities, the selection is not even the selection is based on beauty. The selection is based on income. The selection is based there are all of these exclusive things that don't represent the overall condition of Black people. It'd be different if I knew of some sororities and fraternities that didn't do that. But I'm sure
I think I get both of your points, and I'm going to tell you why. I think as far as the selection process, I think what that's supposed to do is to build a community levels above where we're at now.
Right.
I guess for lack of a better term. Right. You want to make sure that everybody is held. The minimum standard is greatness, from their standpoint. And from the outside looking in, it's like, you saying you're doing stuff, but you're only doing it for a select few.
Right.
You know, so I get both sides, you know, because I understand it, you know. So, but
and I'll be honest,
do get
I've
the point of building up your own, and so that when you do, you know, you are in a position to be able to help people. Because let's be honest, people are attracted to success. They tend to not support you when you're struggling, you know. But once you know you turn that corner and you start bubbling, then everybody loves you. I think we've seen that over and over a million times. So I get that. I guess my hope and wish, and maybe I'm being too optimistic, is that organizations such as yours would do a better job maybe earlier on of partnering. I don't even know how to put it, but, you know, not waiting so late to be like, okay, now we ready. You feel me? You know, like to kind of, even though people that's not with you, you know, it's just like you grow together. And I'm assuming that's probably happened in some communities, especially like my thoughts would be like HBCU communities. I would think that they would be more active because they would have bigger chapters. Again, I'm not in a frat, you know. But can we totally go back to the topic just for a second, because we only got like a half an hour. And if you do want to call in, the number is 347-855-8692. Oh, and I do apologize. I didn't really get the plugs in. If you would like to contact us, you want to advertise or purchase something, you can send an email to theplug@goestogods@gmail.com. Don't forget to check out intellectuallypetty.com, myskinnismysin.com, mrochelle.com, KMLportraits.com, who am I forgetting? Blackspot.com, that's BLAQ spot.com. Oh, shout out to melanatedpeoples.net too also. And Liberation Minded Media, if you do not know, that is the family. That is My Skin is My Sin. That is Do the Knowledge Radio. That is Black I Stand Radio and The Rundown with Renee. Now that we got that out the way, damn, I totally forgot my point, but I had to make sure I got that out the way. You
were bringing it back to the topic.
I was bringing it back to the topic. And I just wanted to ask you, Queen, have you seen the venom that people have been going at each other's throats with about Black Panther?
I've seen some. I've had to remind them that it's not about the Black Panther Party, because I'm one of the BPP, and it was very interesting I would say interesting and sad at the same time, that we don't know enough about our history to know which is which. So that means we're not doing a good job in educating. You know, I take that personally, you know, because I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not going to sit here and make fun of them. I'm going to take this as a teachable moment and help educate. But I've seen some of the ugliness. I've seen the negativity, and I can tell you it kind of made my heart ache, because I can see where we still have a ways to go. Yes, it's a comic book. I don't think I don't think a lot of people even knew that there was a Black Panther. There's 27, maybe 30 Black superheroes that people don't even know about. You know, I'm not a comic book fanatic, but even I know that. I mean, I've had people make comments about Storm. Well, Storm was Black. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, Storm is married to Panther. I mean, in the comic books. You know, wake up and learn your stuff. And even though these are comic books, there's a lot of great plots and thoughts that go into these, and we should maybe look at them. But it like I said, it kind of hurt my heart to know that some of our folks didn't know the difference between Black Panther Party and, you know, this Black Panther, and to see other skin tones just get nasty about it. I was really worried for our people to go watch it around the world. I was just very concerned that our people would be attacked. I was very concerned about that, and I haven't heard anything yet of anyone being attacked. I have seen the fake attacks on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm just like, we can't have nothing, but at the same token, as my grandparents used to say, when you're doing things right, you become under fire. People attack you left and right. So we as a people must be doing something right because we are constantly under attack. There is something valuable that we have that they can't have that always puts us in the crosshairs. And my concern was with this movie showing an all-black cast. I wasn't happy with the one white guy, being, I don't even know what his role was, but, I mean, I saw the movie, but I was like, you just had to put him in there, but okay.
I think he was supposed to be like the white guy in the Underground Railroad. I forget the abolitionist
name. I think so.
John something.
I think so. I
think that's what they was going for.
And I was like,
they had to go
the FBI. In my head, I'm thinking FBI, COINTELPRO. Really? That's kind of where I went with it. Even though it wasn't with that, I was concerned. I was like, what kind of, are you trying to make the FBI a kinder, gentler organization? Are you kidding me? With the things that they've done to our people, to Native American people, to our brown brothers and sisters? So I was kind of pissed off with that piece. Don't paint them like that because they're not like that, But I was genuinely concerned about, how our people would take it. Even with me, when I was sitting with my daughter, when they made some interesting comments to the fairer-skinned ones, you could hear behind me people go, making their little comments. And I was like, okay, I told my daughter, I said, if anything jumps off, today will be the day. And I don't like going to a movie being apprehensive and not sure, but you want to see a panther, start something. You're going to see all my claws come out. It's going to be for real. But I was very concerned about the safety of our children going to see this, our women, our men going to see this, our elderly going to see this movie, because there's so much animosity towards it. And it hadn't even come out yet. So I guess I can breathe a little bit, but I'm still concerned. I'm still concerned.
I have a question for you, sister. You mentioned you're a member of the Black Panther Party.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you feel about the imagery? Like, for example, that the Black Panther Party was doing in the imagery now in movies such as the Black Panther Party. How do you think that plays on?
It was, to me, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I mean, to see the cats in the trees, to see, I like the fact that they they made us the regal people we really are. We're capable of anything. I'm not sure what we have that's locking that creativity and that intelligence, but we got it like that, And I like the extended relationship, so to speak. The cat in and of itself binds the two families. And, the Black Panther, there's a couple of cats that belong to that family. And it's, the Black Panther actually has spots. A lot of people don't even know that. But
did not.
It has spots. It has spots. It's like a leopard, cheetah, one of those, and they're all part of the same family. But I think the most powerful part was when he was, actually he went back to see the ancestors, because the ritual was very similar to our brothers and sisters in Africa. And when he went back and there was a tree full of panthers, I was done. I mean, I couldn't even catch my breath on that. And I was like, wow, y'all, they kind of threw in Black Panther pieces, Oakland, California, which is where they began. The panther in and of itself. They threw little hints in there, and I think that's what made everybody, other people upset. Because people are still pissed off at the Black Panther Party. They're still ticked off. And this number 45, he sat up there, we want Asada back. Wait a minute, you're still mad. So he's cutting all the programs. He's cutting all the programs that the Panthers put together. Breakfast, wig, he's doing it all. So when you look at this movie, that's what struck me, is that they took care of their own, and they're willing to help everybody else after that. Because you got to make sure you have a stable base, because if you're going to take on a bigger group of people, it takes money, it takes smarts, it takes people, it takes your own army, which is one thing that Black Wall Street didn't have. They didn't have their own army to protect them. So that's the other piece that I took from it. You know what I'm saying? And so we don't have any failures. We have interruption. Black Wall Street was interrupted. Black Panther Party was interrupted. Slocum was interrupted because they were all successful. Marcus Garvey was interrupted. We were not. Right. We didn't fail. We were interrupted. Right. So
I like that too.
We need to look at our ancestors. Our ancestors told us exactly what to do, which is exactly what this movie says. The ancestors told them what to do, even though they made mistakes. You know, so there's a lot of parallels. And like I said, we need to build our own before we invite a whole bunch of people in. Because those folks, they start taking positions, they start sending, just unfortunately, like Killmonger, or however we pronounce it, he was upset. He was an outsider. He came in. He started distributing or wanting to distribute all of the resources, basically take that whole thing down if he had his way.
Yeah.
And see, that's what we got to be careful of. We can't, like Black Wall Street, we built up. We had everything. We had no protection. So it teaches us a lot.
Analytical critique, and I'm sure it's because you have so much background information. But I think a lot of people, unfortunately, a lot of our people, especially the ones who consider themselves to be conscientious or aware, automatically want to side with the less popular side.
Okay.
And so I think a lot of people jumped on board with Killmonger for that reason, because he seems like he wanted to be, the Malcolm, and we have more conscientious people that want to be the Malcolm instead of the Martin. But I also think that we got a lot of people that aren't strategic about how we should be looking at our future and how we should approach that. And that is one of the biggest things that I agree with you on. I do agree with exclusivity because I'm a Goliath myself. So I think it is important to build up the central center before you allow a little bit in at a time, and then get them assimilated to the mission and the goals and the procedures and what's going on, and then you go out and you get another group. So I absolutely understand that, and
but he also represents. I mean, like let's be honest. There are a lot of people that feel like he feel, now, like in life, towards people from Africa. You still have that disconnect between us here, generally speaking. You still have that disconnect, generally speaking, between us here and brothers and sisters from the motherland. And we know why, but make no mistake, it is. So there are people here who hold that resentment to this day, the same resentment. So that might be why people resonate with him as well, is because they understand where he's coming from.
What's going to happen in Black Panther, too, when we get a switch?
See, when he stood in front of the entire, all the world leaders, and they were going to give them, I'm going to tell you, I was not feeling that.
Yeah.
I was not feeling that. Because there was a whole lot of faces that didn't look like him. And I'm sitting here, you got to learn through our history that they learn what we have. They swoop in. They take, and I got mad at it. I was mad at the end, and I was like, but I understand him wanting to help other people and, those folks who need the help and to stop oppression. I got that, but just that room with him standing there and all the faces, and then the question, I forgot what country it was. The first thing I thought was, Yeah, you want to know what the technology is. I'm just like, I'm not feeling this. I am not feeling this.
Yeah, but you know what? It's still a white comic though. We didn't write that narrative, and if we want to have complaints about that, we're gonna have to write. You know what I'm saying? Write our own narrative, write our own comic.
You know what though? I don't know if I want them to make a sequel.
It's just a feeling.
Like, to keep it a stack, like I don't. Yeah, I kind of unless the sequel is Wakanda has taken over the world. Yeah, I kind of like I don't know if I think this movie was so dope to me that I wanted to just stay.
Marvel is not ready to piss off all of their white supporters that support every movie, not just all these black people that supported this one that happen to have a black cast. Marvel has to entertain their 99% white fan base. So yeah, that's not going to happen.
Okay, it's not 99%. Like, that's not even keeping it a stack. It's more like 65%.
Man, and what? Look, you need to cut it out.
Shit, like, we support Marvel. Like, let's not act like we don't.
I think a lot of us supported Marvel when we were younger and when we were teenagers. How many adults are still go to all the Marvel aside from? I mean, I know you know me. How many people can you count that go to every Marvel that can explain the Avengers? That go to every Marvel movie. It ain't that many. So 65. I think
nobody goes to every series. I'm just saying, but it's a lot of black folks that are into just cartoon, the whole Marvel, DC, the whole nine. A lot more than I think you would think.
Anime. I know more black people into anime than I do.
I wish people stop calling it anime. It's fucking cartoon. I'm sorry, that's a pet peeve of mine.
It's Japanese based cartoon. That's anime.
Oh, don't try to fancy it up because you're an adult watching cartoons. It's okay.
Look, first of all, I watch what I want to watch. I don't care. I don't care.
I hear my mother calling me. Okay.
Tell her hello.
Go back to Wakanda.
Tell her
okay,
hello.
I'm gonna go to Wakanda right
radio.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sister.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Black power.
No doubt. Thank you.
Look, I watch all kinds of stuff. I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed of none of it.
Ain't nothing to be ashamed of. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with watching anime. I'm just saying it just makes no sense to name cartoons a whole another branch of cartoons just to make grown folks feel less childlike.
Stuff and porn.
Anyway, I think people are done with this though. I think that's about it. And the crazy part is, like, I really thought that it was going. I did think that it was going to be like people calling up all angry and super. And you know what? And I take that back. I knew nobody was going to call up like being angry because we don't. People know we don't get down like that.
We should did a part one people that are against the movie, and then a part two people that are for the movie. Then maybe we would have got a couple of opinions because. But it's like I said, I think people got a lot of mouth when they're making a post and they can block people and kick them off and stuff. But I really don't think they got a lot of logic to back up all the things that they say.
Yeah.
So it's just being bitter and wanting to have some. I mean, what is Facebook without complaints? You know what I'm saying? When I get on and it's a really positive day, I'm like, something going on suspicious in the hood. What are you Negroes up to? What are y'all playing?
In the hood. You don't know shit about the hood. Stop it.
Nigga, I'm Scooby Doo when my timeline pauses. Nigga, I'm Scooby Doo around here.
But I do want to say salute to everybody that tuned in tonight and called up. We only got but like 20 minutes anyway. And we're gonna end off with a couple of what do I even have? Hold on before I get to speaking on the turn. All right, I got that one, and that's it. Yeah, I think we'll close it out with a couple of brick joints. And did I play? Which one did I play earlier? Was that How You Feel?
Oh, can I advertise the playing cards before we hit a turn?
Oh, definitely.
You guys can purchase the Melanated Greats, Leaders, Revolutionaries, and teachers playing cards. It's a deck of 54 cards with images of 13 of our most distinguished revolutionaries and leaders, and they are on pre-sale right now to be shipped next week. And they're $25 a deck. They're beautiful. They look like little oil paintings, and you can play anything with your kids, from match to Tonkin, Pity Pat, spades, whatever you want to play with. So buy black. Take your $25 if you didn't like spending it at the movies, and buy some playing cards. Go to Revolutionary Minds Cinema, Minds, MINDZ, on Facebook, and click on the link and purchase, and enjoy.
And do me a favor, I don't care when you hear this, share it, because I'm on punishment by Facebook again. And before I jump into the couple of joints we got, I forgot I did want to read this comment that DQC put up, because I said I would. I'm trying to understand, JB, why anyone who's black/African American would see this movie as faux hype. Why would anyone focus on enriching a white-owned company more than the message? The black actors who have roles in it, the African scenery, the fact that we can be something other than thugs, thieves, and baby mamas and daddies, and look, ma, no handcuffs. If we're going to dwell on not making a white company man, etc., rich, let's not eat, wear clothes, do drugs, take meds, live or work in anything they built. Also, you may want to give up that computer, TV, cell phone, and those expensive tennis shoes you like to stroll into. We don't want to get them crackers another red cent. Hypocrisy in its truest form. We just don't want them niggas to make no money off that shit, right? Look, JB, I understand why you would want to give a platform to all opinions, and you should. I'm just putting mine out there because as sure as hell has fire, someone will take that negative point of view. I'm answering before they started. So shout out to DQC. I said I would, and I definitely did, and I feel you. On that note, don't forget to check out intellectuallypetty.com, myskinnismysin.com, and we're going to get into a couple of break joints, and we're going to shut it down just a tad bit early, no doubt. Salute to you. This was definitely a dope build. Man, I love the fact that people feel safe enough to come in here and say what they want to say and know they're not about to get their head ripped off. So shout out to y'all, no doubt.
Peace.
Customization, I'm trying to build up a nation of young minds who barely knew anything about the ancients, the ancestors before us. Went through the paces, chastised by races, just to watch our graduations. Trying to shoot us from that outside world, told us have faith. Just believe in Jesus would lead the way, but when I pray, ain't no response back. It got me feeling like where God at. Realize you gotta do the work yourself, so where's my heart at? Steel toe boots, watch me build it brick by brick, constructed solid. Ain't no breaking me down, I hail from Flint. If you can make it here, then you can make it anywhere. They got lead in the guns and water is everywhere. I'm trying to wrestle with these thoughts, take a shot of this heaven clear. Pour a little for the ones we lost, I shed a tear, yeah. I sobered up, notice the world's still revolving, and mine ain't special, cause everybody's got problems, man. Said, is it fake or is it real? I need to know, need it exposed. Hard on my sleeve, you know exactly what it is. There ain't no stopping me from handling my biz. So tell me how you feel. Said, is it fake or is it real? I need to know, need it exposed. Hard on my sleeve, you know exactly what it is. There ain't no stopping me from handling my biz. I feel your pain, my brother, ain't nothing strange. Heart of a king, I'm just trying to free your chains. Can't believe my eyes either, is it real or is it fake? They say it's all love, let's give it a moment, just wait. Show me, give it a chance, how much longer it's gonna take. Dedicated to this mission, but thoughts race through my brain, do they even care? They say no soldier left behind, when do you leave them there? Please beware, team full of lions feasting on gazelles. You thinking this is a facade, then you don't know me well. My life is transparent, watch me show and tell. So much weight make my shoulders swell, but yeah, I'm getting beastie though. Bench pressing the stress, blowing clouds of the reefer smoke. The path that I chose, no such thing as the easy road. I fell asleep and left the reefer road. And sobered up, notice the world's still revolving, and mine ain't special cause everybody got problems, man. Said, is it fake or is it real? I need to know, is it exposed? All on my sleeve, you know exactly what it is. There ain't no stopping me from handling my biz. So tell me how you feel. Said, is it fake or is it real? I need to know, is it exposed? All on my sleeve, you know exactly what it is. There ain't no stopping me from handling my biz.
Righteous alliance, we the highness, it's on papyrus, Kemetic sign. Adam came first, A-C-O-M, then the E, black skin, again. Word to Amun Ra, to the sun star, we ascend. Overstand the power in the heart of man. If you're looking for a God, you are him. If you're looking for a God, you are him. Yeah, time is in the mind. Not defined by a clock, designed by how the sun is aligned. So no clocks on none of my wrist rappery, but time sounds just like the elephantine papyri. God bless me, no allergies. My multiversal cells fly through the galaxy haphazardly. Spirit beings in the human experience, organ evidence of all the Newton experiments. It's easy to mistake my magnetism for arrogance. According to him, I'm African American, I'm more, and my energy is quantum. Started off winning when I busted through the condom. BBC, they gave us the Magic Johnson, the yellow line heart, leave no options for oxygen. According to the scientific hieroglyphics, the power of the universe is in us, pay attention. The earth is 70% water, like the human body. I'm the light, I am Illuminati. The righteous alliance, we the highness, it's on papyrus, Kemetic sign. Adam came first, A-C-O-M, then the E, black skin, again. Word to Amun Ra, to the sun star, we ascend. Overstand the power in the heart of man. If you're looking for a God, you are him. If you're looking for a God, you are him.
I got these stars all aligned in the sky, we like the Dogon tribe. They third eye calcified, I'm trying to open their minds. It's you and I versus the world as the planets collide. Trekking the stars as we built this enterprise. I let my chakras energize. To deny will be ill-advised. European thinking, all our brains have been westernized. Spiritually exercised, verbal calisthenics, thoughts organic, leave them mesmerized. God body building, lesson on them, Luca Lexington. Come and wrestle with an aggressive mind. Pressure replied, trying to disconnect the spine. Mind over matter, self-control. Got on bugging, where's the pesticides? Read between the lines, that's where the message lies. This revolution will be televised and aired on the radio. Feared by upper echelons, we dropped it at the perfect time. The whole nation up in arms, our king's dead killed. And you telling me be calm, and what the fuck is wrong?
The righteous alliance, we the highness, it's on papyrus, Kemetic sign. Adam came first, A-C-O-M, then the E, black skin, again. Word to Amun Ra, to the sun star, we ascend. Overstand the power